The Patriots Postgame Show, presented by Cybereason, with Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo, is your source for all the news and information following every Patriots game.
Shotgun snap to Mac Jones. Fires to the end zone. Caught at the goal line. It's a touchdown for Hunter Henry as the Patriots add to their lead.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I hope y'all keep that same energy for tonight, baby. Can't wait.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Christian Arcan.
Slipping and sliding, he was like a cat. Pop, pop, bang.
All right, welcome in. It is Patriots Postgame here at Gillette Stadium. Christian Arcan alongside Paul Perillo as the Patriots come away with a 22-17 win over the New York Jets, trying to inch up in those standings. Bill Belichick passes George Halas, and the Jets suffer a loss. All three of their losses have been at home so far. A pretty interesting game, a pretty weird game.
Pretty awful game.
Pretty awful game. Yeah, I mean, like it was not a pretty sight out there at the Meadowlands today, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, listen. No style points. Patriots had to have a win. They got a win, and that's the only thing that matters. But I think most of us would be in agreement that there is a long, long way to go still. This was not by any means, the kind of response that I think a lot of Patriots fans were hoping for. One of those, okay, we were embarrassed on Monday night. We're going to go on the road against a team that we traditionally handle with ease, and we're going to smack them around a little bit. They did not smack the Jets around a little bit. The Jets handed them the game, and they also got a couple of very fortunate breaks with personal foul calls, one of which completely changed the course of the game. But it doesn't matter because they had to have a win. I think the season was over today, Arcand, if they had lost the game at 3-5. It is not over. At 4-4, there is still hope.
Yeah, they're still alive. They're still kicking, and I agree with you. I think if they fell to 3-5 and the Jets went to 6-2,
yeah,
then you're talking about not just the season being over, but fans maybe disengaging, like the whole sort of thing. Just, all right, we'll watch the game because it's on, but not that same kind of engagement that you usually see with fans this early in the season. And, week 8, that'd be a hell of a time for people to start giving up. But you can't give up now. It wasn't a pretty game. Obviously, Mac Jones struggled a lot throughout the course of the game. Zach Wilson did too, but was able to put a couple of drives together at the end there. All in all, I mean, if we go back to our sort of keys to the game, I don't feel like they really did any of them, except for part of the game they made Wilson see ghosts. Other than that, I feel like they didn't really hit any of the things that we talked about.
And I don't even think they, not to take away the ghost thing, I don't even think they confused him. I just think Zach Wilson just continued to not understand the idea of throwing the ball away. He would throw the ball away into a crowd. He did it 3 times. He got away with it once down in the red zone. He threw one that fell in between a host of players that had no chance, and then he threw it twice that Devin McCourty caught. I mean, just throwaways that had no chance. I guess we could probably we can get into the good, the bad, and the injured here.
Yeah, let's do that.
As we get underway.
Deuce is on the line. Deuce, you there?
Oh yeah, hey guys.
Oh yeah, let's get Deuce's.
Deuce.
Let's get Deuce's opening thoughts then, because we didn't have the pleasure of enjoying game time with him today.
Yeah, I always hate this, Paul, and then I come into these things, but I agree with everything you said. I thought the first half was just disgusting offensively. It was actually, I found it offensive. And then all of a sudden, wouldn't you know it, you get into the second half, and then everything just kind of kicks into gear. They get a terrible kickoff from the Jets. They get great field position. They get a big run. And all of a sudden, here we go. The formula has begun, and they were able to do it. So, hey, there's some great performances. Ramondre Stevenson, just back on track, outstanding. I don't want to come off all totally negative, but it was a rough go there at early going there, especially on offense.
I'll play bad cop then. We'll do that after we do good, bad, and the injured, though.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that right now.
Now it's time for the good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
The bad.
Hey, what happened?
And the injured.
You all right, guy?
All right, let's start with the good. I'm going to go a different direction with my good. I'm going to give it to the front seven. Lawrence Guy, Devon Godchaux. Guy had a sack in this game. I feel like they did a great job of stifling the Jets' rushing attack, which is, I know even without the rookie playing, it was still a formidable rushing attack. And between Carter, Robinson, and Johnson, they really couldn't get much going there, and I think that's due in large part to the big fat boys up front getting penetration.
Yeah, I put run defense down as well. They only rushed the ball 15 times. The game sort of got got away from them because of all the mistakes. But, yeah, I thought when the Jets tried to run the ball, early in the game, I don't think they had great success doing it. I also think, much like Cleveland a couple of weeks ago, I think they had a poor game plan coming in. But, Mike, how did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Paul, I think they did what they had to do. I mean, it wasn't Breece Hall they were going against. I thought overall they limited the damage against the run, did give up some passing plays that changed the complexion, especially down the end there. That big one made it almost a little hairy. But, pretty solid up front, I thought, from the defensive front, especially Wise and Judon. Those guys were getting after it, too.
I'll give you the next opportunity to give us a good.
I'm going to take the layup. Ramondre Stevenson, I think after 2 games, a little quiet, back on track, like I said at the top, and he just continues to be the piece. I mean, I can say a little bit about Jacoby Myers too, but I don't know where they'd be without Ramondre Stevenson right now. Great game for him, just picking up yards after contact left and right, starting to make guys miss again like he did a few weeks ago. So, if they can continue to ride him, I think it's a huge thing for the offense. And I mean, I think they have to. I mean, I just think he's the key piece, and as he goes, they go at this point.
Yeah, best player in the field today, certainly for the Patriots. I'll go with Jacoby Myers as well. I thought early on he had a couple of tough runs after the catch to get some key third downs. He ends up with, 9 catches for 60 yards, so the average per catch not there. But I thought there was some big plays. Came up with the 4th down catch for the touchdown to start the second half. Not a lot to feel good about today offensively in any regard, but I thought Stevenson and Myers were 2 that I felt really good about, so I had them both on my list.
Ramondre Stevenson and Jacoby Myers caught more balls, or twice as many balls as the rest of the team combined. Yeah. 16 combined for them, 8 for the rest of the team. You could tell Mac was really leaning on him, and we thought that he was going to do that.
I thought Myers could have a big game. I had mentioned that because I know the Jets play a lot of that cover 3 zone kind of stuff. I thought that worked well for his game, but you have to go out and do it too, and he was able to do it.
All right, let's see. How about another good? I'm going to go with Nick Folk. I mean, how much better could he be?
You took that one from Hardy. I mean, that's I guess the honorary host pick, but yes, absolutely, Nick Folk.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about key kicks because. They had a situation today. This is why I kind of said I'll play bad cop when you were talking about the offense was terrible for 4 full quarters. They had the one drive that they had that they scored the touchdown on. They needed a 35-yard run by Stevenson that he got hit in the backfield and had 3 guys on him. They had 3 different scoring drives today that they didn't get a first down. The points that they got today were completely handed to them. They had a 4-play 0-yard drive, a 4-play 4-yard drive, and a 5-play 16-yard drive that the only yardage was a roughing the passer, which was highly questionable. This was not good offense today. Nick Folk was huge. 45 yards, 49 yards, 52 yards, 42 yards. Not just chip shot field goals, You're not necessarily going into a game saying, well, we're going to go 42, 45, 49, 52. We're going to go 4 for 4 on those. I mean, you hope to, but I don't think you expect to make all 4 of those, and he did, and they needed every one of them.
Yeah, they needed him big time because they were not getting into the end zone and outside of.
They weren't even getting first downs.
Yeah, I mean they really couldn't advance the ball much. One other good that I had, or I guess Deuce, you go if you have another one.
Yeah, I was going to throw Jabril Peppers on there. I thought he was pretty active. Did have a bad penalty. Recovering the onside kick, though, at the end, that was a little hairy. I just thought he was active. I mean, with Duggar out, he was, tough guy. I've always kind of had my eye on him. I just think he's aggressive and kind of like his quickness and plays a little hard-nosed football. So I liked what Peppers did today, and I'm hopeful that maybe they can continue to find a way to, get him involved.
Yeah, I would, if you were here, I'd have a nice solid pushback on that one. I thought he did a lot of I thought he did a lot of questionable things today. I think he should have had 2 other personal fouls that he didn't, and I thought he was out of position occasionally. Yeah, I give him props for solid onside kick recovery and a good tackle near the sideline on a running play on a toss sweep. But I thought he was hurting the team today. He was very fortunate that he didn't get a penalty on the Garrett Wilson play where not only he grabs him by the leg and tries to pull his leg, which I thought was dirty, but it was after he was already down. He was on a knee, and then he gets a personal foul after that with a helmet hit. I didn't like his game very much today. to be honest.
I'm going to have to look at that one, Paul. I'm going to have to look at it. I'm not there. This is bad when we're not together. We're not working these things out during the game.
Yeah, that's okay. You can yell at me later.
Between Peppers, McCourty, Adrian Phillips, I thought the safety play was pretty good. I thought that the safeties were okay.
Around the line.
Yeah, around the line. And
around
McCourty
the line,
had all
I
those
thought,
interceptions
like
too,
you brought up the run defense. I thought those guys, I thought Phillips, I had Adrian Phillips, so might as well bring him up now. I had Adrian Phillips strongly on my good list today. I thought he had a couple of really good plays and a tremendous pass defense on Michael Carter in the end zone. And the first time the Jets were down there led to a field goal. Really good defensive play. 2 good run stuffs at or around the line of scrimmage. I thought he was really good, Adrian Phillips.
Yeah, and they obviously didn't have Duggar, so you saw some extra minutes there for Josh Bledsoe. The only play we really saw him on is when he got burned by the tight end there,
Ty Conklin.
And he comes up to Conklin's waist, so you kind of expected that to maybe happen. He's out there on an island in the end zone with him. But aside from that, and aside from a couple of plays, as you mentioned, Paul, from Peppers, I liked what the safeties did as a group.
Mike, what else you got?
Yeah. Can I put Zach Wilson on? Is that allowed? No, I'm just kidding. No, I mentioned Judon and Wise. I mean, I thought that they were good all game. I mean, especially Wise. I just think he's I worried a little bit. Hot start. Is he going to fade out? Or I want to see that consistency from him. And I thought he came out today and continues to be disruptive, be a handful. Like what those guys did. I think they were a big part of the success that they had against the run and. I almost said forcing Zach Wilson into those interceptions. I don't know if that's an accurate way to say it, but they were good, and I think they need to be good, and I liked what they did.
All right. Are we all done with goods?
Yeah, I had, real quick, I had the kickoff coverage today because that's something that I think has been a little bit leaky as of late. Today I thought they did a good job twice stopping Braxton Berrios inside the 20 to force the Jets into really bad field position to start. So I had that on my list. I had Marcus Jones is sticking with the special team. Big. I think it was a 27-yard punt return, which gave them. Unfortunately, Patriots did nothing with it because they can't move the ball on offense at all. So I had that, and then hats off to Bill Belichick for officially passing George Halas. That was the extent of my good list right there.
All right, there you go. Let's.
Hey, how about Paul? How about a little just Marcus Jones shout out for that punt return? No?
I did.
He did.
I just did.
I didn't hear.
I'm going to need you to listen. I'm going to need you to listen. I don't care if you're in a COVID fog. I'm going to need you to listen. I thought special teams a little bit of a bounce back today. And again, here's where I would put Peppers into that because that's a good play, good aggressive play coming to get the ball, on that onside kick. And, I know everybody says, well, recovering an onside kick, that's his job. We've seen guys have problems with those. I thought he confidently and aggressively came up and got that. So I would count that in the special teams. Unfortunately, they couldn't top it off with a downing of a punt inside the 5 when DeMarcus Mitchell rolled into the end zone with it. But, overall, I thought Jake Bailey was better today. Special teams was solid.
Okay. Well, we got all our goods out of our system. It was a win, but
can I give you a quick red zone update?
I think we got some big bads. Sure.
Deuce likes these.
Okay.
So, Atlanta had a 6-point lead, with less than 30 seconds left, kicked a field goal to make it 6. And they allowed a bomb for a touchdown to DJ Moore with 12 seconds left. And it was like a Hail Mary type thing. And he caught the ball, touchdown, and there was a wild celebration. I'm not positive, but I think it resulted in a 15-yard penalty, which pushed the extra point back, and he missed the extra point. So it's 34-34 with 12 seconds left.
Wow.
In Atlanta. And that game, by the way, is for first place in the NFC South.
Oh, my God. 2 under 500 teams?
Yeah, someone's going to be under 500 and win that division.
That's something. It's usually that division, isn't it? I remember the Saints did that
a couple years ago. I think Carolina was like 7-9 or something, or 6-10 even. I don't know. I forget.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. There's your red zone update. Let's get to some bads. I think the obvious one, staring us right in the face, not a great game for Mac Jones.
Mike?
I wasn't going to put him on, but it's just. I'm struggling right now. I really thought I don't usually put this much thought into the good, the bad, and I know people were like, "He's got to be on the bad." This probably, if I was there, would be a great debate. I'm not going to quite put him on. I'm going to give him a little bit of a leeway. His first full start back, but overall, the offensive performance was atrocious outside of Stevenson, and I think there's a lot to dissect there. But I'm not gonna jump on the Mac right now as much as I maybe want to.
Yeah, maybe I'll give him some points for coming back, playing his first full game. But if I'm judging it off his performance today, he's got to be on the bad list. I thought he had a boatload of, quote, turnover-worthy plays, which seems to be the new buzzword in football. It's not just turnovers, it's how many you should have had. So I thought he was extremely fortunate on the roughing the passer. I thought he was extremely fortunate on the ball that got tipped at the line. I think it might have hit Isaiah Wynn at the line and hit C.J. Mosley in the chest. I thought there were a couple others that I didn't really see a whole lot of really decisive throws today from him. I saw a lot off his back foot. Now, in his defense, he was under siege for most of the day. But I don't think he really ever did anything to help himself in that regard. So I didn't think he was great today. 24 for 35 for 194, a touchdown and a interception, sacked 6 times. And like I said, I think that roughing the passer call, if the Patriots rebound and have a good second half of the season and make the playoffs, that roughing the passer call was going to be the biggest play in the 2022 season, because if that does not get called, that's a loss.
Yeah.
And no one can convince me otherwise.
I agree.
17-3 at the half. I think there's a fair chance you would have seen Bailey Zappi in the second half, and the game would have been over.
And it was one of the worst throws ever. I mean,
it was a terrible throw that had nothing to do with anything that happened, whether you thought it was roughing the passer or not.
Yeah.
And Mac didn't even think it was a penalty. He walked off to the sideline, had no idea there was even a penalty on the play. So it had nothing to do with the play.
Yeah. His actual interception, I didn't think was his fault, obviously, because they came behind them and knocked it away. But we're going to have to pause this right now and give a big thank you to our sponsor, Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider and laptop of the NFL and the New England Patriots that provides players and coaches with the tools to succeed both on and off the field. Check out the powerful Surface Pro 8, combining the power of a laptop with the flexibility of a tablet over at Surface.com. That means we are going to be talking to a player right now, and that player is Juwan Bentley, who joins us here on the phone line, if I could just click it on. Juwan, you hear me?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing fine. Probably not as good as you're doing. First career interception. How'd that feel?
Well, it's actually my second, but it's been a minute, so I'm definitely appreciative, man.
I think we should get after CBS then, Juwan, because they said it was your first career interception.
That's right. I was just listening to them.
Yeah, this is definitely the second one. We got to get on CBS.
Which one do you like better, that one or the first one?
I'm always for the most recent.
So obviously on that play, that's a big spot there. The Jets are looking to get some points at the end of the half, up 10-3. You looked like you dropped into a zone. I think it was Ty Johnson may have been in front of you. Was it as simple as that? Maybe Zach Wilson just kind of overshot it and you were there?
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure what they was trying to do, but all I know is the ball was in the air and it was my job to make a play on it, and that's what we had to get done. And we always talk about taking advantage of the opportunities when they come our way, and I think we did a good job of that today.
And those takeaways were obviously huge in the game, Juwan. You really gave the offense a lift. The offense needed some help today to get some points on the board, and you guys were consistently able to do that. What was the key to sort of, I would say, hurrying Zach Wilson around and allowing him, because he obviously got a little bit flustered and threw some to you. What was the key to getting some pressure on him?
Well, to address the first one, we definitely always talk about playing complementary football as an entire team. But defensively, we know Zach. He's a great athletic quarterback, so we know he wants to get in space and likes to throw the ball and things like that. So our job was just, when we had the opportunity to get him on the ground, just to make something happen. And I think we did a solid job of that. But our job as a defense, just to play complementary football, cause turnovers, and put our offense in position to make plays. And I think we did a solid job of that today.
We're talking with Juwan Bentley. Juwan, you guys did a real nice job, I think, against the run game. That's a good running team there with the Jets, even without their star running back. Can you talk about the play up in front of you and how the big guys looked, and if that made your job any easier there on the second level?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, shout out to my big guys up front. We definitely rely on them guys heavy, especially when it comes to running football teams. I think they did a solid job today. The Jets have a lot of dynamic running backs that bring a lot of different things to the table. So us being able to step up and make plays as well as tackling these dynamic running backs was big for us. So for us to get that done is definitely huge.
Obviously, that run defense that you guys just talked about, Juwan, that was a big part of the success today for you guys on that side of the ball. Were you a little surprised that just looking at the stats here at the end of the game, it's 41 pass attempts for Zach Wilson, only 15 rushing attempts. Do you think that was more because you guys were so successful stopping the run early, or are you a little surprised they didn't they didn't try their luck running the ball a little bit more often.
When it comes to getting on the other side and understanding their game plan, I'm not too sure about all that, but I just know when we had the opportunity to be able to stop the different run plays, they do a good job of drawing up different scheme plays for different teams to kind of get that run game going. So we just knew when the opportunity showed up, we had to make it happen. As far as them passing the ball as much as they did, we don't have too much control over that one, but we just knew when the scoreboard hit a certain moment, they probably going to throw the ball a little bit more. So hopefully that played a part.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Juwan, congratulations on the win. Enjoy the rest of the night.
I appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right.
Congrats, Juwan.
Juwan Bentley, linebacker for the Patriots there, as they come away with a 22-17 win over the Jets, due in large part to the defense and, that whole unit's ability to really get after and flummox Zach Wilson. Although, as you pointed out, it was one thing when Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts, because he couldn't figure out what the coverage was.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Zach Wilson got confused at all today.
He saw the ghost, but he was like staring him down and throwing it right to him.
He's trying to throw the ball away, and he doesn't do it properly all the time, which I thought that was what made it so strange.
It's like you have to go out of bounds, Zach. You can't just go to the other team.
Or at least away from people. I'm throwing it away. I'm running. Like he would get himself out of trouble, out of the pocket, run away, which now allows him to throw it away anywhere. And at least 3 times he threw it in the general direction of Patriots. And one of them he got away with, and 2 of them he didn't. So, yeah, this was not like the Sam Darnold game where he's like confused and throwing it into a dropping guy or someone falling into a zone or whatever. This was – I just thought this was really just 3 or 4 – I don't think – it's funny. I don't think he was like completely terrible all game. But there were about 10 or 12 plays. I mean, that's obviously a huge amount.
Right.
There were about 10 or 12 plays. He looked like he had never played the position before. A couple of little throws to the backs in the flat that he couldn't get to them. The throw at the end of the half that Bentley picked off was inexcusable. Yeah. That's an easy throw and catch for a first down, and they're going to get points at the end of the half. Instead, you give the Patriots points at the end of the half. Game-changing kind of plays. And, these are the things that Zach Wilson's still trying to learn.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he looked like last year's Jets game there. It was that same game where was just throwing them left and right. Like I was laughing to myself the same way I was last year. Like, you got to be kidding me. He's just I don't get it. I don't get it with him. And if I was a Jets fan, I imagine I'd be beside myself because I think they had an opportunity today.
I'd be more upset with Saleh and Michael LaFleur because I think that they decided that they wanted to do it like Cleveland did a couple of weeks ago and say, well, we're not going to be able to run it on them because they're expecting us to run it. So we're going to be tricky, and we're going to throw it all over the place. And when you don't have a team that can do that, you're going to lose. And today, you're right, Mike. They lost the game. They handed the opportunity for all those points to the Patriots because they refused to run the ball. If they had just run the ball and punted, they would have had a very good chance to win that game today.
Yeah. If Wilson took a couple sacks.
If you say 0 turnovers for the Jets today and just run the ball and punt, they would have had a very good chance to win the game today.
Yeah.
Now, that's a big if because
it
didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's another one of those coaches that I think sort of got, like a little too tricky for his own good.
Yeah, it would appear that way. And, for a team that had that kind of momentum playing at home, which isn't really much for the Jets this year. The Jets are 1-3 at home. All 3 of their losses are at home. They've won 4 games on the road and are just much better, it seems like, when they're playing away from MetLife. And that's interesting because, you come in with this win streak and you have to imagine that those fans were fired up. And I feel like I don't know if the Patriots took the fans out of the game, but I think just like, did you ever feel like the fans were a factor? Like, I felt like it was just a quiet day.
I thought the fans were a factor until that roughing the passer call. I thought that really took the wind out. I think that there was a collective. We're still the Jets on that play. Like, we have a chance here to finally establish ourselves as a playoff team. And then I think they said, we're still the Jets. Bad things are going to happen to us in key spots, and that's what happened. Those personal fouls. I don't even like the call that they had on Mosley, which started a drive that ended up with no points anyway. But that was a huge field position drive. He was short. He's running. He's diving for the first down, and he got hit, not in the head. And I don't really even know what they called. I mean, Gene Steratore came on, and he clearly didn't agree with the call either. So I think there was a lot of that with the Jets. Like I could see being a Jets fan today and just deciding halfway through, we're not winning this game. Like every time we were in position to take control of the game, something bad happens. And I could see the Jets just saying, well, we're still the Jets and we still suck.
Yeah, there was a very real sense of same old Jets going on there.
I was getting texts from a buddy that I went to college with, and he was like just beside himself the whole game.
I'm sure.
With all the things they were doing.
I mean, listen, it was a one-score game. You know, they're down there and it made that a one-score game with that last touchdown.
Well, and they were down there the time before that,
That's
throwing
right.
the ball into the end zone. They just couldn't make any plays.
Yeah, it was really. It could have gone either way. Like they play again in 2-3 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
It's 3 because of the bye.
Three
so
with
they
the bye.
They
so
play
yeah.
Indy, then they have a bye, right?
Yeah.
Indy bye Jets, right? Not bye
Indy
next
Jets.
week. Indy bye Jets.
Yeah. So there.
So they got to win them both. I mean, the Patriots have to win all 3 of these games, and it won't be easy. And based on what you saw today, you know, it will not be easy.
I didn't see anything today that I feel like as well. They own the Jets. They're going to beat them in 2 weeks. Like this is no problem. They don't have to worry about this team.
No.
I think that game in 2 weeks at Gillette could be a real barn burner. And I don't mean like a really fun, exciting game, but like a grinded out, got to win by 1 score.
Just like
kind of
today.
game.
Yeah. Deuce, do you want to kick us off on the bad list?
Oh right, yeah.
Keep it going. I mean, I know we have Mac there first. I mean, I'm gonna lean into the pass protection end of it. I just think it's been atrocious all year long. I thought, Paul, your comments from PU about Cole Strange kind of came home to roost a little bit today. And wouldn't you know, there's Isaiah Wynn playing guard.
He got benched.
I think I get the pass protection issues, and I'm stuck between knowing Mac doesn't look like he feels comfortable at all, and I don't know to blame Mac for that or to blame the pass protection, because I think they're both at fault at various times. But overall, I just think that they haven't established a pocket consistently this season anywhere close to enough. And until they do that, I don't know if you're ever going to see Mac Jones find any confidence in the pocket or any ability to, go through a read without tucking and running. And I mean, those were some of their best plays once again, or, Mac on the run. So I just think they got to figure out an answer on the pass protection stuff. Is that Yadni Kajus giving him a try or what? But now you got Wynn at guard. Now you got Cole Strange kind of wondering what's going on. I'm sure he'll be back in there, but it's just been a mess.
Wow. And Carolina just missed a 33-yard field goal in overtime. Oof. This is just bad. I think you make a great point, Deuce, about Mac's role in the pass protection, because I thought there were times early that he was under siege and got sacked. And then I thought there were times where he kind of had a decent pocket and he was holding, and then got sacked. And then there were other times I thought he was just running for no reason, and he's not a runner. I know he ran once for a first down today. Great. I don't think that that's his forte. I don't think that's what he's going to make a living doing. And I thought the tackles were bad again. I thought Marcus Cannon was really bad in this game. I thought Cole Strange obviously lost his job after a while. I just thought they had some trouble overall in this game with pass protection. I think the fact that you have to put Isaiah Wynn in the game at left guard, I think is telling.
Yeah, Cole Strange in particular. I mean, you sort of mentioned it. Without David Andrews in the middle, he kind of looked lost out there, and you saw his face and you saw Cannon's face way too much.
And I thought David Andrews has played really, really well. And I also thought, and I don't know if it's a different name now, but I'm going to just continue to call him Michael Onwenu.
What was that? CBS was like, that's actually
right. So I thought he played well. I thought he played well today. Yeah. I saw a couple of times where he was knocking his guys around a little bit, And listen, I'm not an expert. I saw a couple of replays where they showed him, and he looked like he was pretty effective. But they had some problems elsewhere along that offensive line. They're going to have to figure out right tackle. Mike is right about Yadni Kajust. I don't know if he can give them anything, but right now they're searching for answers.
Other bads? Can I go?
Sure.
The rest of the wide receiver group, other than Jacoby Myers, I thought they had a real hard time getting open. I didn't think that they were. I know, right? I mean, did they even go out there? Tyquan Thornton, 1 catch. Aguilar, 1 catch for 2 yards. Devontae Parker got hurt, so he gets a pass here. Kendrick Bourne targeted once, no catches. Yeah. It's like they weren't even there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a good one.
Saying Kendrick Bourne was kind of a breakout game today. I think that fell just a little bit short.
Yeah, I mean, he had opportunities. He just wasn't. I just think they had a hard time, and I think the Jets front four controlled the game. Really from start to finish. The Patriots ended up with 288 yards of offense in this game. I mean, if not for taking over in scoring position 4 times, they would have been hard-pressed to get 10 points in that game. So they have a long way to go still.
All right, any more bads?
I thought the secondary wasn't great in this game. It just they got bailed out by a quarterback who's not ready to take full advantage. But as it was, he threw for 355 yards, and it wasn't all garbage time. There was only one play at the end, that was really tilted the numbers.
Oh, the play to Mims?
Yeah, I thought Garrett Wilson was open consistently. That was the guy, and they were missing their number one target in Corey Davis.
Right.
So. Yeah, I thought the secondary wasn't great in this game. I don't know if you guys feel like I'm being a little bit too hard on them.
I totally agree with you, Paul. And I thought that I can't see the all-22 on the broadcast, but it looked like there were guys open. There's one particular play up the seam that I was like, there it is, and he missed it. I think he missed a lot of throws. You have the big plays, giving up that play to Mims at the end. I mean, that's just, come on, we get guys down, close things out. I thought that the defense was, overall okay considering who they were playing against, but I'm with you. I think nothing that they did today made me think that they're got it on lockdown now or anything like that.
Yeah, the run defense was better, but I didn't think really anything else was markedly better from what I had seen in the recent past. The Chicago game. I also think we should spend some time talking about some coaching decisions today that I thought were kind of strange. 4th and 1 from your 21, from the 21, you pass up a field goal in a game that had already had all the earmarks of a low-scoring game. I think points were valuable. Okay, so you go for it. And, I understand the whole notion, well, we had a play we felt good about, right? That was the play they felt good about? What exactly was the goal on that? The little play-action fake and a roll, and there's like a one-man I don't know. It just looked terrible.
Looked like an RPO gone wrong.
Yeah, it did look like an RPO gone wrong. I'd be curious to hear how Evan describes that one.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I don't even know how to describe what that was. I'm like, was it like a play action? It was like he pulled it up, and then Hunter Henry looked open for like a moment, and then Jacoby was going one way. They threw it the other way. I'm with you on that play call. I mean, and it's just, it's understand what kind of game you're in.
That's my point.
Points on the board. You need it.
Yeah. I would throw in after the pick 6 that was nullified by the penalty. What do we do then? They get a penalty, and then he just decides, if you don't trust your quarterback that much at that time, that you're running 2 dive plays to Ramondre Stevenson, followed by Mac Jones taking the snap and running to the middle of the field to take a knee to set up a field goal. I didn't understand what that was either. I mean, if you have that little faith in what's going on, maybe it's time to make a change. And then what I thought was really egregious, Mike, and you probably won't remember this because you were probably unconscious by the time you got to this part of the game, but it's 22-10, 22 to whatever it was. Yeah, 22-10.
Yeah.
And the Patriots have the ball and around their own 25-yard line. There's about 7 or 8 minutes left in the game. The game's over for all intents and purposes, as long as you don't do something stupid. He comes out and throws a bomb down the sideline to Jacoby Myers, incomplete, followed by a sack on the next play, followed by a little dump-off over the middle. And then I have to hear when they punt, and the Patriots, before they punt, they allowed the play clock to go all the way down to 1 before they snapped it. And I have to hear Charles Davis tell me how well coached they are because they let the play clock go down. They could have taken 2 minutes off the clock if they had just run the ball 3 times. And instead of getting your quarterback lit up again for the 6th time of the game in a blowout, and then did that seem like the best way to milk the clock, throw a bomb, and then have your quarterback get sacked?
I don't think that was about milking the clock. I think that was about giving Mac a chance to go out there and have a drive where he can throw, and he couldn't. I mean, it's,
So I had 3 things that I just, first I put 4th and 1, what? With a question mark. Late first half travesty, I wrote. And then I just wrote coaching question mark at the end when they did it for the 3rd time. I think that deserves second guessing. I don't know. Maybe I'm being nitpicky after a win. It's not the first time. I'll get made fun of for that.
Well, I mean, I'll piggyback a little bit on you, Paul, because I put the coaching just generally offensive coaching, however you want to divvy it up. We don't know exactly what it is, so we'll just put it on all of them. But I've been watching this offense since August, it's the same thing. I mean, it's just there's no real progression right now, and I'm not sure what they're doing. I mean, we can talk about Mac, we can talk about Patricia, we can talk about the play calls. Regardless of what it is, other than Ramondre Stevenson, there's nothing consistent or good about this offense. The threat is going to threaten any
I completely
NFL
agree.
right now.
If not for an incredible individual effort by Ramondre Stevenson to break 3 tackles in the backfield and run 35 yards, that game might still be going. Like, there was no separation in that game. That singular play by Ramondre Stevenson was the difference. Like, they couldn't get it. Like, you could talk about the tempo they used after that. They did have a nice throw and catch. The one catch by Thornton, I thought, was the best-looking pass play the Patriots had all day, in all seriousness. I thought that was terrific play. Mac looked confident on his back foot, bang, the ball's out, like 12-yard out, nice, But that was it. They had no rhythm. I think, Mike, you were tweeting during the game about, like, everything is a grind. Like, how many plays did they have in this game where they got the first down by a half a yard on a ball that was thrown about 4 yards behind the line to gain? And
you're like gritting your teeth as like Jonnu Smith gets it by like a
right.
centimeter.
And give them credit for getting enough yards to win the game, but like in terms of an offensive plan, I'm not sure what it was.
And it's like you talk about, you get to this point in the season, Paul. You've heard Bill Belichick say it all the time, right? Like, you get to 6-7 games, mid-October, late October, you start to understand what you have.
And the Jets are good.
Have on offense? And
I will say the Jets are good on defense. Like, I'm not discounting that. The Jets are a good defensive team, and they played really well defensively today. But I've seen that offense more often than not.
This is just, there's no identity to this offense at all. There's been no progression. I don't know where they're heading. And where they go from now, I don't know. I feel like we saw it similarly. It's just it's frustrating because other than Stevenson, you don't really have anything that you feel like, here's what we can build off of. I mean, like Christian said, you came out of the game with like 2 guys basically catching all the balls, and one of them was the running back who did all the work carrying the ball.
Yeah, I mean, if we were worried about him being a little worn down the last couple of weeks, I mean, that was a pounding he took today. He didn't get any easy yards in that game.
Boy.
Yeah. By the way,
also,
I didn't know this.
6 for 19 on third down. I mean, that's dreadful.
That's
I think
bad.
they will like something like 4 for their first 6.
Right, but I mean, every drive is like 6, 7. I mean, if they're even able to get them, they're multiple third downs because there's no real.
Well, that's why they had 19 attempts.
No explosive plays.
Right from the first drive of the game, Mike, they take over on the 45-yard line. The Jets had a 22-yard punt on their first possession, allowing the Patriots to set up shop 1st and 10 from the Jets' 45, 3-and-out. Like, they took over inside the Jets' 40 like 4 times and came away with 6 points. Like, it was bad.
I mean, even on the second drive, Paul, I mean, I was just looking at it, writing it on my notes, like, a 3rd and 10, a 3rd and 11, a 3rd and 5, like another third down that they didn't get. Like, so I mean, 4 third downs. I mean, it's just, you're asking so much of an offense that's already so limited. It's like,
right.
How many third down play calls does Matt Patricia have on that card of his? Like, by the middle of the second quarter, he's probably called 90% of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, and I started off the whole show, I said no style points. I'm not, I'm just looking big picture. Today, they had a win and they won. But there's a lot of things that would, all the things that concern me heading into the game remain huge concerns for me.
By the way, quick red zone update. The Falcons got a game-winning field goal from Younghoe Koo, and they improved to 3-4, good enough for first place in the NFC South. So congratulations to them. Very nice. Very nice for the Falcons.
Wow.
And or maybe now they're 4-4, right? Because I don't think this is updated yet. But either way,
yeah, I think they're 4-4.
Yeah, now they're 4-4.
That puts them ahead of the Bucs at 3-5.
Yes, well, very very strong division there. As the Panthers had a chance in overtime, didn't take it, and the Falcons end up winning that game and now leading in the division. So there you go. If you were looking for a red zone update, all right. I think we got all our goods and our bads out of the way. Injured.
Well, obviously Devontae Parker,
right? Play. Yeah.
A bunch of guys went in the tent today. Stevenson went in the tent. Myers went in the tent. Obviously, Parker left the game, but it seemed like a lot of guys were, I don't know, stepping awkwardly, landing awkwardly, coming down sort of on their knee, getting twisted. I saw Mac at one point on one of the sacks. It looked like his leg got twisted around a little bit. It seems like these guys are just, I don't know, maybe it's just bad luck, but it seemed like or maybe it was good luck in this case since none of them had any real serious injuries other than Parker.
Yeah, I didn't realize Myers was in the tent. I missed that. But there was some guys. Stevenson obviously finished the game.
Yeah.
So whatever he was dealing with wasn't severe enough that he wasn't asked to.
Oh, maybe
to
it
run
wasn't
out the
Myers
clock.
in the tent. Maybe he was getting like rubbed down. Remember that?
I think Phillips was too at one point, but I don't think he missed any time. So yeah, this was a physical game. Like I said, I give the Jets defense a lot of credit. They were put on the field in a lot of bad situations today, and to only allow 22 points in that situation, I thought was really good.
Yeah, what I'm kind of wondering is, what's the extent of the Parker injury? Does that impact their potential trade options? You didn't see anything out of Aguilar Bourne in the game as well. So, how do those factors kind of come into things over the next 2 days as the trade deadline comes down?
Yeah, it's a good point. A rare good point for you.
I guess Bill Belichick's talking right now. We'll hear from him in just a minute. We'll be hearing from Mac Jones a little bit later on as well. Doug Kye just tweeted that Ramondre Stevenson had 71 rushing yards today. He 8 yards after contact. 81 yards after contact. How could he have 71 rushing yards and 81 yards after contact? I guess maybe on some of the passes too, but yeah, he was really tough to bring down.
I'm not smart enough to do PFF math.
If anyone
right?
can do it, it's him, I'm sure.
Yeah, but yeah, he carried the day.
Reminds me of a thing I saw last night, Mike. You'll like this. Every once in a while I like to delve into like nonsensical non sequiturs. So I'm out last night at a restaurant, Mike, waiting for Beth, and I'm watching a college football game, and they put up, it's Illinois and Nebraska playing, and at the time Illinois had like a 20-9 lead, and they put up a graphic. The first 4 drafts, Nebraska, first 4 possessions, something like 28 plays, 200 and whatever yards, and 10 points. And I'm like, how did they have 10 points on the first 4 drives but only have 9 points in the game? Yeah. Did I miss PFF math again? Seriously, it said they had 10 points on their first 4 drives, no points since. So did they lose a point because they were so bad offensively in the last 4 drives?
They deducted a point, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't get it. But
I got to say, overall, not a strong day for the announcers. You mentioned the Ono Manu thing. The talking about on Mac with the penalty on the linebacker. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name. When he came over,
C.J. Mosley.
and they say, he hit him in the head. I'm like,
he didn't.
What is he supposed to do? He's trying to get the line
right.
of the game. You're right there. You're supposed to tackle him but avoid his head while he goes to the ground?
Yeah, when he's not, he clearly was not. They kept saying he was giving himself up. He clearly was not.
No.
And to Mac's credit, by the way, Mac is saying, I need to get to the 20 to get this first down. I can't give myself up. And he didn't. But he got bailed out with the penalty anyway. And that didn't lead to any points because that drive ended up in the 4th down stop. But that allows a whole change of field position. All that time goes off the clock that the Patriots have the ball and the Jets defense is forced to work. Not a great day by the announcers. Not a great day for the officiating crew either, I think.
When Mac got hit by Mosley, I thought there was going to be a problem because it sort of was like one of those hits where he just kind of stopped in his tracks. And he was halfway down on his knees, and I thought, oh no.
I don't know if you heard at halftime.
Is he conscious? I wasn't sure
at
about
halftime,
that. Yeah.
Deuce, I'm not sure you heard it, but Boomer was openly wondering why he was still in the game.
Yeah.
He felt like there was a moment where he laid down, with his head. Are we going that far now because the guy takes a hard hit, he has to come out of the game? I'm not telling you he did or didn't have a concussion or anything, but we're just going to automatically assume guys that get hit have a concussion?
No, and I saw what he was talking about, though, but I felt that was more like one of those Mac dramatics, dramatics, I guess you could call it.
Oh, yeah.
That he kind of does when he goes down where he, all of a sudden slumps like he was dead for a millisecond. But
yeah. It's
funny because you're right. What if he gets caught doing that, with his, little antics, and then all of a sudden you're out of the game in concussion protocol trying to pull a fast one.
Right. I did the I did the Mac Jones voice on the 4th down that they went for it and got the touchdown. Did you see him when he gestured to the sideline? He was saying we're going for it?
Yeah. I know. Yep, yep.
We're going! Yeah.
Yeah.
All
At
right.
least he didn't kick anybody in the jewels.
He did not. Not that we saw, anyway. If he did it off camera. All right, there you go. There's your good, your bad, and your injured here as the Patriots come away with a 22-17 win over the Jets and MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. It was, again, not a pretty win, but a win's a win. Patriots now up at 500, still in last place. They had no chance of getting out of last place in the division with a win or a loss or anything today.
Right. They didn't even get into a tie.
Right, but there's one step closer as the Jets now fall to 5-3. The Dolphins won today, and when do the Bills play? They play tomorrow?
Tonight.
No, they're playing tonight. That is correct. Yeah, they're playing Green Bay tonight. You're right about that. All right, we can't take calls because we're going to lose Deuce. So we want to take some emails.
Well, you're going to lose me soon anyway. So
all right, yeah, we'll kiss Deuce goodbye, and so we could take the calls. We can't put him on hold.
Can we?
So we can.
Matt just threw up his hands.
All right. Well, we'll try. You know,
got
Mike.
Palms up from Morel back there.
If Mike feels better, he can call back in later. Okay.
He says
so
yes. All right.
Let's get to the calls because they've been waiting.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll start with Eddie, who is in Alabama and has been waiting very, very patiently. Eddie, thanks for waiting. How you doing?
All right. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
All right. Hey, Paul made like half my point already, but it's like bigger than what he said.
Ooh.
Belichick does not he has no faith in Mac. It's like on the second drive of the game where they had 3rd and goal from the 17. They did not throw the ball in the end zone. They ran Ramondre for 5 yards, which I predicted in my mind before that play. And it was like,
I didn't have a huge problem with that one, but yeah, I mean, in the scope of the game when they clearly had exhibited several times that they weren't thrilled with the way that things were going. Yeah, I agree.
But it's psychological too, because he pulled back last game, and it was you got to show confidence in him. Let him throw the ball into the end zone. At least have faith that you will throw it out of the back of the end zone if no one's open.
Right.
They didn't even do that.
Right. No, I agree. But I mean, I'm just saying from the 17, the way the pass rush was going, the 17, 3rd and goal is a very low percentage play. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that the way that Bill coached today, he coached like a guy. He coached the way Robert Saleh should have coached. He coached like a guy that wasn't really comfortable with his quarterback.
Yeah, he did.
And if Saleh did the same thing, I think, like I said, we'd still be playing.
Yeah, you're right about that,
and
too.
It'd probably be about 9-9.
Daniel is in Springfield. Go ahead, Daniel. All right, Daniel. Sorry, buddy.
Good job, Hardy.
Let's try Big T, who is in Florida. Go ahead, Big T.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Big T?
Conspiracy theory.
Ooh, I like it.
When the Patriots signed Cam Newton in 2021 before the draft, and Mac Jones miraculously dropped to 15, don't you think that Belichick was thinking one of those running quarterbacks, Lance or Fields, was going to drop to him? I think he was setting it
Well, he had every opportunity to take Fields if he wanted to.
He could have had Fields.
He was available at 11.
He could have gone up, but
I'm just saying, that,
what a genius he was letting.
But Chicago went from 20 to 11,
15.
so you easily could have gone from 15 to 11 for less than what Chicago. So if you wanted Justin Fields, he was there for the taking. So I don't think they wanted Justin Fields.
I just had a feeling that signing Cam, that was kind of going to be their guy that would teach the new guy coming in. But anyway, I'm a Mac guy. I think Mac is fine.
Yeah, I think they signed Cam just to make sure they had a quarterback, and if they weren't able to draft one, I think things would have been different. I think Cam would have been there to play. There's no guarantee at 15 you were going to get one of those quarterbacks.
Right.
So I think they signed Cam just in case they weren't able to get one.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, and they did it so late into the season. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Before we do,
now, he's talking about the second time when they re-signed him.
When they re-signed
before
Cam.
the draft,
of course.
Yeah.
We thank Cyber Reason, presenters of the Patriots Postgame Show. Great defenders don't just play in the field; they're also protecting your company and your data. Cyber Reason on a mission to end ransomware. Keep your business undefeated against cyber attacks. Learn more at cyberreason.com/ransom. We'll be right back here on Patriots Postgame.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Then on the second angle, you see him walking away. I'm like, oh, Jesus, he's huge.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Christian Arcan.
All right, and we're back here. It is Patriots Postgame, Patriots.com. And hey, Pats fans, I'm here to tell you all about NFL All Day. With NFL All Day, all your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. Not only can you buy and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of NFL fans, you can also use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out and find some moments from all your favorite Patriots players on NFLAllDay.com. We'll hear from Bill Belichick in just a moment. In the meantime, should we continue with some phone calls or we want to read some emails? What do you feel like doing here, Paul?
Why don't you take the calls first, and then maybe Mike can call back in and rejoin us.
Does he have to?
Well, I think that's what he's thinking.
All right, let's go to David, who is in New York. Go ahead, David.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's going.
Fair to Midland.
Well, sorry for the connection issues on Monday night. You missed my Monday night rant I was about to do. Maybe I spared you, but it's a new week. Feels good to beat a division rival, although I still feel a bit uneasy overall about the whole situation. The takeaways were nice, but it is Zach Wilson that we did it against. I'm still not convinced of either our offense, especially our red zone offense, and really our defense in general.
Yeah, I'd agree. That wasn't really a reassuring victory.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to sound overly negative, but it is one of those games that is hard to feel great about, other than the fact that the season's still, we still have a season. I think if they lost at 3-5, you'd be hard pressed to get back in it, given the tough schedule they're going to have down the stretch. But it's hard to feel great about the way that game unfolded.
I know, and it's weird because it was a division win. It was on the road. It may have saved the season by getting them back to 4-4, and we're all still sitting here going like,
Well, because here's the thing is, and I wasn't the only one that said it. Everybody said that the Jets were 5-2, but they were a fake 5-2, and they really didn't do anything to deserve it. So you can't, in retrospect, say no, that was 5-2 on the road. They beat. No, you can't say that, because the Jets were exactly what they've been. They're good defensively, and they're challenged offensively, and then they fell behind, and they had to have their quarterback throw, and he can't. And that's why you won the game.
Yeah, it sure is. Let's go to Spee, who is in Fresno. What's up, Spee?
What's going on? I guess after last week it was with the Bears, we learned it's not like we can beat bad teams, but maybe now it's like we can sometimes beat teams that play badly, which is not that great a place to be. I wanted to know, and this is kind of like a question for Fred. Does this count as a moral loss?
A moral loss?
No,
I don't
because I think
loss.
they had to win the game and they did.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not a big fan of the moral victories and the moral defeats.
If this same game happened against like Carolina, maybe you'd call it a moral loss.
I know a lot of people when they lose to Green Bay in overtime and it's like that was like a win. No, a win is like what the Jets did in Green Bay.
Right.
They won. They had more points at the end of the game. And by the way, that's why you're behind them. So when you win, there's nothing. You don't give it back.
Yeah, we're just trying to have a little fun with the. It is a stupid concept, but I had one other one with Dietrich Wise. He's kind of an amazing story this year, and I'm just asking, putting out there in the ether. Can you guys do like a little deep dive on him, or just kind of figure out what interview him or something, figure out why it is that he thinks his season has been so special?
We interviewed him 2 weeks ago. Last time I was here, he was our player, and I asked him. I didn't ask him exactly that, but I said, you're really kind of blowing up this year. Is this, and he's a late bloomer too. Dietrich Wise, for his first couple years in the NFL, was largely inconsequential, and this year he's been a major factor on that front.
Right.
All right, let's try Maddox, who is in Washington. What's up, Maddox?
Hi, I will say the D line, like you were saying, the D line has been absolutely it has been since that Judon signing last year, our D line has just gotten absolutely. It's like one of the best in the league, I would say, at least to me. It might maybe a little.
The Patriots'
biased there,
defensive line.
Still, to me, maybe there's a little bit of bias there, but overall, when you have Judon he's leading the league in sacks. And then you have other people coming off the edge. That's a very big upgrade. Okay. And but on offense, our offense is. I feel like there's almost kind of like a disconnect between the between the players with Mac Jones and then Bailey Zappi coming back and forth in. And I feel like that's kind of throwing people off. I feel like that. If you guys kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't know if I agree that the defensive line's the best in the league. I think
last week didn't happen apparently.
Yeah, right. They didn't do much last week. The defensive line couldn't do much against Justin Fields. I do think they played great today, and they've had other examples.
I thought they were okay today. I thought
the front was good. No?
The Jets, I think they're okay, but the Jets didn't run the ball. They ran the ball 15 times. I think when they ran it, the Patriots defensive line, I think you called them out as being on the good list, and I would agree with you, Christian. I thought the Jets the Jets didn't run the ball well enough to continue to run it, and I think that was because of the Patriots front. But the last time we saw them, they got run all over, and that's 3 times this year that's happened in 8 games. Yeah, I think Matthew Judon has been an effective pass rusher. I don't really look at him as a defensive lineman. I look at him as more of a linebacker. But that would be about it. That would be where it ends for me. I think Dietrich Wise has had a nice season, but I don't think you're going to confuse him with some of the better players in the game.
The Jets are also down 4 starting tackles and Elijah Vera Tucker.
Right.
If you didn't, and Breece Hall. If you didn't stop him today, you weren't stopping anyone ever.
Yeah, that's another good point. A nice little trick play for the San Francisco 49ers with a touchdown pass, I think, from Jeff Wilson to Brandon Ayuk to tie that game at 7 in L.A.
Very nice. It's still weird to see McCaffrey on the Niners, isn't it? That's really weird. Every once in a while, a guy gets traded or something. He's on a new team. You see him in the jersey, and it's really weird. McCaffrey on the Niners is weird as hell to me for some reason. We got Deuce back. What's up, Deuce?
Hey, guys. I'm back.
Good. Glad to have you.
For a little while. I know it's a grind for all of us today, but hey, credit to us. How about putting us all on the up list today?
They should have interviewed us after the game.
Are you now wearing a Dodgers hat? What are you doing?
Yeah, sorry.
I have issues.
My toque was getting too cold. It was getting too hot for me, Paul. So
okay.
I didn't have a handy dandy Patriots hat, so this is just.
I'll get you a Fenwick football hat to wear next week. I'll take it.
I might have to buy a Holy Cross football hat after that performance yesterday. I don't know if you guys talked about that yet. Probably, I'm guessing.
I don't remember talking about that. But I do remember earlier in the show, Deuce saying that I wouldn't be surprised if, because I hear that you get mistaken for Zolak a lot. Is that correct?
Once.
it's like once, but yeah, I'm nowhere near as big as Zolak.
No, but you could
like
be
6'5".
You could go to Vegas and be like a Zolak impersonator. You know what I mean? Like you could.
People like, who are you impersonating?
Right, you jump out of a plane, and you know what I mean, and just you're the Zolak guy. You could do that definitely. You got the.
I could do parties in New England. Hey, it's like I'm the Scott Zolak impersonator. I'll come to your party and be like, yeah, meathead, and they'll play Josie while I come out of my car.
Yeah.
And pump everybody up and.
That sounds great,
Paul. If you were wondering what we talked about when you went to go do your hit there in the pregame, it was
this.
That.
It was this. 100% that.
Okay. Ever tried on a hot dog, Paul?
855-PATS-500 is the phone number. webradio@patriots.com. We'll be hearing from Bill Belichick in a few minutes. He spoke not for very long. I think he only spoke for a few minutes, 4 minutes. So yeah, when we're able to, we'll throw to that and hear from him. We'll also hear from Mac Jones. I'd be interested in hearing what he thinks about this game and how he played today. I mean, I don't think you get a win, you feel good about that, but he continued, and it wasn't his fault, but he continued his interception streak. He was outplayed in a lot of ways.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes on it. It wasn't his fault that he didn't. I mean,
he did his best.
He did his best to throw 3.
Well, yeah, sure, but I'm saying the actual interception.
Yeah, the actual interception
was more on Marcus Cannon than on him, I thought.
Yeah, it was more on him. But I think Deuce's point earlier about his pocket awareness today. The fumble was on him. Not every strip sack is the fault of the offensive line. That fumble was totally avoidable.
Yeah.
I think his presence in the pocket. I think Mike made a really good point about that earlier.
There was one
Can
play.
I ask you guys a question?
Yes, go ahead, dude.
Just when he threw that pick six, I mean, did you lose your mind like I did? I couldn't believe that play.
I thought Bailey Zappi would play the second half, Mike, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah. It's too much of that. It's continuing. I mean, and it's been that way through the season. I don't get why he's got these brain farts now. And I mean, we can talk about pushing the ball down the field and all this kind of stuff, but like, what happened to Mac Jones last year, who just made better decisions? Like, I don't need to get all caught up in the minutia of.
Yeah, and today wasn't. Yeah, and to your point, like today wasn't like we're chucking it all over the place. We're going downfield. Everything was underneath today, and that pick, the pick six was just an out. I mean, it wasn't like a downfield shot play or anything like that. Like, he's fighting through whatever, I don't know what the reasons are. I'm not smart enough to know, the ins and outs as to what's going on, but he's not comfortable, and I don't think ever looked settled in that game today.
No, I don't think so either. And one thing about having a second-year quarterback who was a Pro Bowler in the first year is that you really start looking for improvement and progression in the second year. And even with this win, I feel like there was no improvement, no real progression. He's the same guy, if not maybe a little worse than he was last year because of the injury and the new coaches and the new offense and all that stuff. But not one time, really even one quarter this year, have I looked at Mac Jones and thought, man, he's really taking that next step. He's really improving. He's really becoming the quarterback that can lead this team into the next generation. Like, there's been no indication of that this year.
Yeah, we were talking about.
That's what you hoped, coming into the season, coming into the preseason in the summer, and you're watching it. All right, it's a little clunky right now, but all right, they're doing it to get to a place where they need to be. And I still generally agree that you can't just run short stuff and think that you're going to be able to compete in this NFL. But it's just the lack of progression, the lack of identity on offense, the lack of anything other than they're just grinding it out at 4.2 yards a play. And that's what it's like, down 16 plays to go 60 yards. I mean, it's just too much. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what pieces you pull out of this whole game and say, oh, this is what we can build off of. I mean, other than Ramondre Stevenson, it's like, man, you're just hoping to survive your own passing game.
We were talking about during the game, even when he had a pocket and had room to throw, there was only a few of those plays, but when he had them, he was still fading away, still off the back foot, still floating a lot. And, guys were open, guys were there. I heard Mike say that earlier. The plays were there to be made, and he's just so uncomfortable and so in his own head that he's just not making them. And it's infuriating to watch because the plays are there to be made, and he's just not making them.
Yeah. There was one play. We talked about this when it happened. You were talking about his pocket presence and, feeling the pressure. There was one play where there was a guy coming right at him. And he just holding the ball.
That was the fumble.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that was
pump faked with a guy coming right in front of him.
He pump faked. I don't know what Mac's peripheral vision situation is, but
apparently not good.
How could you not see that? He was right here. He's right on his hip.
Yeah, and on one hand, you'd like to say, well, that's a good job of keeping your eyes focused downfield and not watching the rushers, but you have to have some awareness. And when you can't put the ball in harm's way, that was very fortunate. not only the Patriots end up recovering that, but that could have been like it squirts free. When you get fumbles like that go behind the quarterback, there's no one there.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that can get picked up and scooped, and going the other way in a hurry. Fortunately, I think, for the Patriots, they were able. One of the linemen was able to get on it. But this is what I said. It's protect the ball, right? No turnovers. Right. They only turned it over once, but not for a lack of trying.
Those are plays where the quarterback gets knocked out sometimes too. He didn't see the front side rush, and we've killed other quarterbacks for that on this very show. And he got hit hard. It just hit him the right way, but he's been very loose with the ball, and it's continuing. It's not getting any better, and they got to figure that out because it's gonna cost them eventually. They can't. I know that they've been lucky for 22 years now, but eventually that luck's going to run out, and you're not going to recover every strip sack.
Yeah. I mean that's a huge play in the game.
We talked about how Mac really zeroed in on Stevenson and Myers. You could say the same thing about Zach Wilson with Wilson and Conklin. In fact, Elijah Moore, after the game, who was targeted once and did not come up with a catch, was asked about his chemistry with Jets quarterback Zach Wilson and said, "I don't get the ball. I don't know."
Yeah, see,
That's a great quote.
This is the difference between.
How the hell should I know?
Yeah, this is the difference between the New York media and most others.
Yeah.
Around here, that wouldn't even would have been a thing. This is a guy who expressed his displeasure a couple of weeks ago and then went out and was barely a part of the offense with their top receiver out, and they immediately go to him like, "Meow." So what'd you think of your involvement today? It's just like New York, only New York.
We liked him, Paul. We liked Elijah Moore.
I love Elijah Moore, but there's no denying the fact that the last couple of games he hasn't been a part of it. He was getting targeted a lot early. Now he's not even a part of the offense. Of course, maybe he was in the general vicinity on some of those throwaways that went to McCourty.
Yeah, could have been. Devin McCourty had two of the easiest interceptions of all time. I mean, really, just standing there.
Yeah, we talked about McCourty a little
behind
bit.
5 yards behind where the pass was supposed to go.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, I'm not even sure how much I want to credit him. With the picks, but
that's what I'm joking about.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 picks, and they didn't really even lead. They really didn't even lead to anything.
I believe Devin McCourty now is the active interception leader.
Yeah, he passed Marcus Peters because I know on the first one they put the graphic up that he tied with Marcus Peters for the most.
See? Paul didn't even want to sign him. He thought he was too old. Look at that.
You're too old!
You know what? McCourty was asked about being the active leader, and he said, "I'm just old."
Too old! Yeah, I'm not sure he was in bounds on the second one either.
Yeah.
I don't think he was either. That left foot, I think that left foot, they had a sideline cam in back of him with his left foot.
Yeah, this is another bake sale game. When Bill says maybe we can have a bake sale and raise some money so they can have more cameras.
All right, let's see. 855-PATS-500, the phone number, webradio@patriots.com if you would like to email in. Again, we're waiting on Bill Belichick, and we'll hear from him and from Mac Jones in just a little bit. The interceptions, the turnovers, all of that. I mean, we talked about how we don't feel great about the offense. Was this the type of game where you feel great about the defense? I don't feel like you really feel great about anything. Even the defense holding them to 17 points.
No, it's like I said, defensively the numbers are going to look really good, but I don't think they played all that great. I mean, they weren't bad. I don't think they were bad defensively today, but I don't think this was like Detroit.
Right.
Where you shut down a bad offense. You shut down an offense. This is an offense that can't move the ball, and they moved the ball today.
It's never good when you see.
That one drive that I think it was the second or third drive that was just, third drive right down the field, bing bang boom, and they touched it. I mean, that was not good. That one was, I wanted to get the taste out of my mouth. I mean, they did right the ship, but I think it's one of those games where, unfortunately for them, their top offensive lineman's out, their superstar and budding rookie running back is out. I mean, it's hard to take a lot out of this game. And I mean, I know next week will probably be somewhat of the same. Maybe we'll see about Jonathan Taylor, but not a lot they could prove in this one. My questions are all kind of still on the board, and I think Paul nailed it with the stuff about the secondary and just some of the coverage stuff. And it's just for a spell there early on in the season, I felt like, wow, I hit a point where I'm like, the coverage is good. They seem like they're competitive. They're not great, but they're competitive. They're always there. Everything's got to be bang plays to get them, and I don't think that's been really the case the last few weeks.
All right, without any further ado, this man passed George Halas and is now the second all-time in wins for head coaches in the NFL. Bill Belichick from the podium.
You know, the typical tough division game down here, and give the Jets a lot of credit. It's a good football team. Really played well defensively. They gave us, plenty of problems. We had trouble the last quarter and a half, really doing much. Really well coached, good front, and Mosley, was all over the field. I don't know how many tackles he had. It seemed like he must have about 15 or 20, but but we hung in there and got some enough plays out of all three units: offense, defense, special teams, and some big turnovers defensively, and a big play by Pep to recover the onside kick. It was the kind of play that beat Cleveland with. I think it was in week 2, somewhere back there. Good division win on the road, and good Jets team. They do a good job, and like I said, defensively they're tough. We knew that coming in, and they certainly played to it. So good to get out of here with a win in the division, and we'll move on. But proud of the way the team stepped up on a short week here, and came in and got the win today. So
what did you see from Mac in the offense? It looked like they had a lot of fight, especially to start that third quarter and come out.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big halftime swing, really. 10-point swing for us. We got the field goal at the end of the first half on a last play, and then started third quarter with points. So I thought Matt did a good job today. He got the ball out quickly. We gave up some pressure, but I thought he did a good job taking care of the ball. I mean, Stevenson obviously is just a tremendous back and makes a lot of yards, on his own. Like, makes a lot of yards after contact. But I thought Mac did a great job. Stevenson, Jacoby, some guys really step up for us and make some plays offensively that we needed. And then again, good team defensive effort all the way around. We had a lot of pass rush, turned the ball over, tackled better. Gave a couple big plays, but other than those, we played pretty competitively. So good fourth quarter team. Nobody's better than the Jets are in the fourth quarter. So to hang in there with them in the fourth quarter was, we knew that was going to be a challenge, and it was. But we stepped up to it. So that was good.
Bill, you recorded victory 325, number 2 all time. What does that mean to you, just to be a part of history?
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that when it's over. Add them up at the end here or whatever. But it's good to come down here and win. Happy for our team, and appreciate all the great players we've had that have won those games. I had a couple of them in the locker room there. Besides our players, guys like McCourty and Slater, Mayo, Troy Brown. Those guys won a lot of games for us, for me. So it's really, those are team wins.
Special teams today seemed like other than maybe the one play where the touchback. What did you think of the performance?
Yeah, well, Nick was great as usual. Put it right down the middle. Thought we covered well. Marks did a good job of the ball handling. Got an explosive play on the punt return. Got a good play on the kickoff return on the miss-hit kickoff. Got it back up to the 35, whatever it was. So thought we took advantage of some opportunities, and it was again, that's best special teams unit in the league. The Jets statistically, and they played to it. They're tough. I thought we stepped up there and, like I said, battled them and made our share of plays in the game.
Could you tell if Jack got his hands on that field goal that they missed, or?
No, I couldn't tell. My eyes, Mike. Kidding me.
Sorry. When you think about Mac handling the pressure that he was under today, are you as impressed with the toughness, physically speaking, or is it more like the decision making that he's doing in those situations?
Oh, decisions for sure. Yeah, decisions for sure. Mac's tough. There's never any doubt about that. Mac's a tough kid, but I thought he made good decisions, managed the game well, managed our team well, and that's what a quarterback's job is to do, is to help the team win. That's what he did. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. That was Bill Belichick after the game. Some complimentary words there for Mac Jones, who didn't have a great game by any means, but certainly complimenting his toughness and his ability to sort of manage the game, which I didn't. I mean, he was tough. He took a couple of pops, and I definitely think he bounced right back from those.
Yeah, I agree with Bill. Like, I know his toughness.
Yeah.
I don't question his toughness, but I do question his decision making today.
Yeah, and the game management and all that, I thought that was all pretty questionable. But I do get the sense, and maybe I'm just reading too far into it with Bill. I probably am. That this is the direction he's going. I don't think we're going to see Zappe again for a while. I think he's going to have Mac out there and stick with him. And now that he's healthy and there's no reason to sort of go back and forth anymore, I think it's all about building up Mac's confidence, which they probably should have started a long time ago. But now here we are, better late than never.
Yeah, like I said, I think that things could have gone a dramatically different direction at the end of the first half. That pick six, and then Bill's immediate response to that, because then they got down and they got a holding call, which pushed him back, and it was dive, kneel on the ball, kick a field goal. That told you right there that Bill was shook a little bit, because I think that those calls. I think Bill says to Matt Patricia at that point, "Let's take the points here. Nothing stupid. Let's just take the points." So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't see a lot of great decisions today. I saw some. I'm not saying I didn't see any. I didn't see a lot of great decisions under pressure today. I thought he did a good job a couple of times climbing the pocket, moving around, buying some time. But I saw other times where he looked affected by the pass rush and reacted accordingly.
This is kind of a weird hypothetical, but if Zappe played in this game, how do you think he would have done?
With that pressure?
Yeah.
I think it could have been really, really ugly.
Sure.
If it's the same, like, I don't know, like,
I think he deals with pressure a little bit better, though.
I think he would have gotten sacked 15 times today.
Well, that would have been better than throwing it away. I mean, I don't know. I guess if it was on the
I
other
think he would have
side.
taken a lot more sacks than Mac did. I think Mac did a good job of moving around at times.
I feel like Zappe gets the ball out faster. He's a little bit more antsy back
So
there.
you're
and is
a
looking to get rid of
Zappe
it.
guy.
I'm not.
I don't think Zappe does anything better than Mac.
Well, I'm not
personally.
a play Zappe guy. I'm just talking about in terms of getting the ball out quickly. I feel like in the games that he's played, I've noticed it. I thought Mac held onto the ball a lot in this game, and that's where a lot of those sacks came from.
Yeah, I think that the plays that Mac runs are designed for just one read, quick, get it out throws.
All right. We're going to take a quick break here, then we'll get back to your phone calls at 855-PATS-500. But first, Patriots fans, I'm here to tell you about NFL All Day. With NFL All Day, all your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. And not only can you buy and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of fans, you can also use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out and find some moments from all your favorite Pats players on NFLAllDay.com. Quick break, and we're right back here on Patriots Postgame.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix eSports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com. Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
And one of the most unprofessional press boxes I've been in the league.
It's unbelievable! Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Christian Arcan.
All right, it's Patriots Postgame presented by Cyber Reason. Patriots knock off the Jets 22-17 on the road to improve to 4-4 on the season, 3-2 away from Gillette. Weird they've only played 3 games here. Meanwhile, the Jets dropped to 5-3, just 1-3 at MetLife Stadium. You just heard the number. Let's get to some phone calls. What do you say at 855-PATS-500? Let's go diplomatically here. It looks like Mitch in Frisco, Texas, that is, has been waiting the longest. So let's go to him. Mitch, how you doing?
Hey guys, thanks
Mitch.
for taking the call.
What's up, Mitch?
Caller. Yeah, I had a question for you guys. You know, been watching the team now for 8 games, and kind of every week it seems like something new pops up that's an issue that has to be resolved. Whether that's QB play, turnovers, mistakes, coaching, play calling, any of the above. But would be curious to know your guys' thoughts on what is the biggest disparity between us and even just the teams in the division, do you guys think? And I'll take it off the line.
Well, it depends what team you're talking about.
I don't really understand the.
Yeah, like
Can you guys decipher that one?
Biggest difference between the Patriots and, say, the Dolphins, I guess, is like offensive firepower.
Explosiveness.
With the Bills, it's everything. You know, like the Bills are better at everything. And with the Jets, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like the Jets and the Patriots are not too far off from each other.
Yeah, I think the Jets and Patriots are very similar teams, except for the Jets are very young.
Right. And have had some really good drafts lately, which the Patriots were still sort of finding out. But, I mean, the Jets.
Yeah, I would say Miami is much more explosive. The Bills are much more balanced and explosive.
Yeah, and just, I guess, all around better. And the Jets, I mean, the Jets have a lot of good young players, but a lot of them are hurt right now. And, you know, a lot of them didn't play in this game. Let's go to Moises, who is in Connecticut. Hey, Moises. Moises. All right, Moises, we're going to pop you on hold. And let's see who gets that line. That would be Deshaun in Virginia. Hello, Deshaun in Virginia.
Hello, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
Nothing much. I just want to speak on one thing that could be very, very constant, and that's the offense struggling. I can't really see too much more happening simply because you can't really change the personnel right now. I mean, it's a grind week in and week out for this offense to get anything going systematically and schematically to get things going.
Yeah.
Everything has to be schemed.
What's that?
I say it's like everything has to be schemed in order to get these players open.
Yeah.
You can't tell these players, like, hey, just go out and just make a play for me.
Well, they're also having a hard time getting the ball to the guys, too. It's not – I think quarterback is part of the issues on offense. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it here. They've had issues offensively, period.
Are they scheming guys open, too? I mean, we were talking about this. You guys were talking about it in the pregame. I believe one of the callers called in and said, you know, trick plays used to be kind of the more part of this playbook. You would scheme guys open with some trick plays. You would, you know, run some rub routes or something. Doesn't seem like much of that is going on from what we can see, especially not in the trick play department. But at the same time, you can't really run trick plays if you can't run your normal plays.
Yeah. And also when, you know, your offensive coordinator who felt confident doing that sort of thing is in Las Vegas getting shut out today, by the way. It's a little bit tougher, I think, for guys like Patricia and Joe Judge to start getting that creative. You know, I mean, they do some creative stuff, but I don't know if they're ready to start doing flea flickers and wide receiver passes and double passes and all that stuff. I feel like that was Josh's wheelhouse more than anybody else's. And now you got two guys who, are learning on the job, and I think that's sort of maybe a little bit out of their comfort zone, if I had to guess. 855-PATS-500, that is your phone number. We'll hear from Mac Jones in just a few minutes. Mac Jones speaking after the game. Again, I'm interested in hearing how he talks about this game and how he thinks it went for him. It's been a weird season for him, I think, all around. I feel like every time he comes to the podium, I never know what he's going to say. I never know what mood he's going to be in. I just don't know, it's a mystery, you never really know
and this
what
is a
Mac's
tough
thinking
game,
about anything.
How much do you look at, toward the end of the Brady era, we had games like this that Brady looked like he just lost 54-0, right? Because he knew the offense didn't play very well. He knew he didn't play very well, and he knew what they were doing wasn't good enough. I don't know where Mac Jones is in his career, if this was just maybe one of those games where he looked at it and said, it's a tough week for us, tough week for me personally, and we got the win. We went on the road and we got the win. That's what we had to have. And maybe that's his mentality more so than Brady, who at the time, I'm thinking 2019 in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Not a very good game that they won. I think they won 17-10. A game kind of like this one where the other team just made more mistakes than you did and you ended up winning. I wonder how Mac will handle that.
All right, we got a couple of emails to read. This one coming from Daniel, who says, guys, I'm not encouraged about anything. Zach Wilson and the refs handed us this win and just barely. The team is in no man's land, and I really don't know what the future holds. I agree with that last part, and really the whole thing. The future of this team, I think, is so up in the air. You really don't know. I mean, it's very unknown. It's very vague. There's not a lot to hang your hat on.
Total agreement.
It seems like there's been more bad than good overall, but they're 4-4. They're a 500 team. There's
Right.
teams
So
that are
if you get more plays, more games like today, the rest of the way, and you end up going 8-9.
Yeah.
I have no idea. If someone's asking me, what is this the guy? I don't know. My gut would say no, but I don't know if 2 years is too quick. I don't. That's the danger to me, is that you end up like Midland.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, no question about it. And by the way, at 4-4, that'd be enough for battling for second place in the North, in the South, and in the West. So I mean, you have a division now in the AFC East. Everybody thought it was going to be the West this year with the Chiefs, the Chargers, and Russell Wilson and the Broncos, and Adams going to the Raiders. Everyone thought that was going to be the division. You're in the division, and that's the worst possible time for the Patriots to be in the most competitive division in the AFC.
Yeah, but the division's really irrelevant because you're not competing with Buffalo. You're competing with all the teams in the conference for wild card spots.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? What division those? I actually look at it as a blessing because you get an opportunity to beat the teams that you have to get in front of, like today.
Yeah.
You had a chance to beat head to head the Jets, who are one of the teams ahead of you, whereas Cincinnati, you'll have a chance later on in the year. Baltimore, you already missed that chance.
Yep.
If maybe down the road it's the Chargers or one of the teams you're trying to chase, you won't get an opportunity to see if you could see them. I think there's – I get it. I think there's something to be said both ways. Tough division, but if you were fighting for the division lead, I would say, yeah, it's tough. But I don't really think they're going to be, when all is said and done, I don't think they're going to be a factor in the division.
Yeah. Stefan from Frankfurt, Germany says, guys, I really hope Mac would respond after getting pulled last week with an angry good performance. He may have been angry, but he certainly was not good. Where is the more than solid QB he was last season? That's a great question. I feel like, we talk about improvement from year to year. Is he going to get better? Is he going to progress? Can he get back to what he was last year? I feel like he's not even there now.
You hope so.
Yeah.
You sure hope so. Otherwise, this team – the future is a lot worse if he doesn't get back to where he was last year, to kind of go back to the last question, because if you're taking a step back in year 2, you're probably not making a huge leap in year 3, year 4, and if you don't have the quarterback, it's gone to show in this league you're not very good. You're at best a middling team.
I wasn't expecting Mac to start airing it out down the field. I knew that they weren't going to let him just go out there and get picked off a bunch. But even though it was a relatively conservative game plan, he still had a hard time. He still had a really hard time reading the defense, getting the ball where he wanted it to go, and avoiding those type of plays.
And I'd be interested to hear, all of the all 22 guys that I make fun of all the time, but I'm not really trying to in this particular case, because I thought there were a lot of elements of the game today that were similar. to what we see. I saw him under center. I saw him play action. I saw him doing some of the things that they've done with Zappe, and it looked just as bad. So I'm not, I'd be curious to see if there was, different things, different concepts that people feel like were happening today as opposed to what Zappe's been dealing with.
Is there a point this season where if Mac doesn't get any better, you think they should start planning for a new quarterback next year? Is that on the table this year?
I think if the record falls apart and you're in position to pick in the top 10, yep.
Okay.
There's some good quarterbacks in this draft.
And I would say with the one caveat is unless it's injury. If he can't play for the balance of the last 9 games, let's say he gets hurt 2 weeks from now and they end up losing, 6 of their last 7, and Mac doesn't play in those games. So you have a top 10 pick, but it wasn't Mac's fault. Then maybe I have to fall back on my evaluation. But if he plays the rest of the way and he's healthy and they lose all the games, I have to think because he's not playing great. Yeah, I think you have to think about it, Christian.
Yeah, I certainly think you have to as well. Do we have Mac ready to go? All right, without any further ado, let's hear from the man we've been talking about most of this post-game show, Mac Jones.
For you guys, as an offense and as a team, to get out here with a win?
Yeah, I think first things first, just kind of opening statement here. Just wanted to give a huge congratulations to Coach Belichick on his accomplishment, and obviously he's done a great job here, and it's just a blessing to be able to play for him. And obviously we don't do the whole individual awards, but that's a big one, and it's just to be his quarterback right now is just a huge blessing. So I thought today was a good win. I think in the National Football League it's obviously hard to win, and the defense played exceptional, and we kind of knew we were just going to wait and let them kind of take over the game, and special teams played great as well. And obviously we did enough to put points up, but we want to do better, and we will. But a lot of things to work on, I'm sure, when we see the film. But you got to give credit to the Jets defense. It's a really good defense, top defense in the league, and we'll face really good defenses in the future, and that was good preparation for that.
Much of coming out with the second half, hurry up offense. What was the message at halftime maybe to get you guys going a little bit?
Yeah, I think Coach Belichick and Matty P and Coach Judge did a good job just coming up with a plan of how we were going to attack, and we talked about it, and they've done a good job all year of adjusting at halftime. I think that's something that they've done a great job of, and that obviously benefits you in the second half, and we were able to go down there and move the ball. But obviously we want to score more points, and we know that, and we'll have plenty of stuff to work on, but super proud of the guys on offense for just sticking with it and trying to battle through against obviously a really good defense.
Mac, did you have any extra motivation this week coming off the injury missing 3 weeks and then just playing those 3 series the last game?
I think I always try to be internally motivated, and obviously there's things that you can control, and for me it was just my attitude and my effort and being a good teammate and showing up and trying to work and lead the guys, and that's my a good attribute that I have is my communication, and I felt like we did extra things this week together as a team and really as an offense that showed up on the field, and if we continue to do that, we'll see better results. So the process is there, and I'm just super happy to be a part of this, and obviously we want to continue to grow here. It's one game's not good enough, so we'll be ready for next week.
Max, since you mentioned them, what were some of the extra things you guys are doing as a team?
You guys, rock, paper, scissors.
Same mind.
No, you're good. Yeah, I think just talking through some things and watching extra film together was obviously very beneficial, and getting more reps, in our own time, and talking through things, and just whatever we had questions on, we were just more, all right, how do we do this? What do we need to do here? So obviously that's important. You want to be on the same page, and I felt like we made strides there, but got to continue to do that. And like I said, it starts in practice, and we had a good week of practice, and we got to carry it over even more into the game, but definitely good enough to get the W.
Is that a full offense or a smaller group of you, just so we understand? Like, is it a small group or a couple guys, or what was that like?
I mean, I think, as always, we have our meetings, and, it takes everybody. It takes all 11 on the field, and there's a lot of young guys that are learning too. So we want to, like I said, just come together, and whether it's as a unit or as a skill group or quarterback group or wide receiver group, like everyone's trying to do more, and that's what we're trying to, get to, and it should be like that every week. So we're going to continue to do that and just get better.
Matt, what about the quick game in the second half? It seemed like you guys went up tempo a little bit more, shorter throws, things like that. What made you feel comfortable in that
Yeah, I think it's really just applies to how the defense is playing and how we're trying to attack. And they had a really good, defensive line, and we're just trying to neutralize that and move the ball quickly. And Matty P did a great job calling the plays all day, and I got to get the ball out on some of those sacks and stuff. So it's not all one person or one thing, but I'll definitely watch it and see how we can improve. And obviously we want to score more points and do all that. So a lot of progress, but got to keep going.
Mac, what is some of the things that Ramondre Stevenson's doing that's making him so effective in the passing game for you?
Yeah, I think Damian and Mondre have done a great job all year, working together as a unit and helping those young guys move along. And they're both really good in the pass game. I think Mondre's done a good job there. We kind of included him in that this week, and Damian has improved there too. So, I love both of those guys. They're like my brothers. So we just want to continue to grow together, and they've done a great job.
Matt, what did you see on that you can build off on? And even though you guys didn't play your best, how good is it to get the victory in this hostile environment?
Yeah, it's great. I think that's why football is the greatest team sport, and you have a game plan. And I felt like we laid out the targets that we wanted to hit, and we hit most of them. So that's part of it, and I'm just super happy that we won. But we're always going to try and look at the things that we can do better, and that's what we'll do. But great job on defense and special teams, and offensively just trying to just battle through it and find a way, and that's what the National Football League is.
Mac, what did you see on the pick six? What were you trying to do with the ball, and also your reaction to the penalty?
Yeah, I think that's something I'll have to see on film, but I knew what I was trying to do with it, and just a little miscommunication. But can't have those, and penalties saved us. But definitely want to eliminate those plays, and got to watch it and see what we can do better. Cool. Thanks.
All right, that was Mac Jones up at the podium earlier this evening as the Patriots come away with a 22-17 win over the Jets. Mac Jones sporting the Agent Smith in the Matrix look with the black jacket. Is that a black tie or a blue tie? I couldn't really tell. Looked like he had that whole thing going. Anyway, any takeaways from what he had to say?
That last question is a good question. I wish that we would have gotten an answer on it, because
Yeah.
he said he knew what he wanted to do with it, and it was a miscommunication. What the miscommunication was, you were going to throw it 15 yards short and let the guy run the other way.
I'd like to see the other view to see where the route was, because there was no Patriot in the picture on TV. I'm assuming he's throwing it out, and it looked like Michael Carter undercut the out route, but I didn't see a Patriots receiver, so I wonder if they were in zone and the receiver didn't react the way he was supposed to, and the throw ends up looking like he's throwing it right to a Jet, but wasn't supposed to be like that. I don't know.
All right.
I agree with you. It was a good question we didn't get an answer to.
I know. That's too bad. We'll take a quick break here. Mac Jones and Bill Belichick, by the way, brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories are made in Massachusetts, no matter how you choose to make them, indoors or outdoors, scenic views, city vibes, solo or family style. Whatever moves you, whatever the season, plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com. Quick break. We'll be right back to wrap things up here on Patriots Postgame, presented by Cyber Reason.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Name the stadium Gillette Labs for the night. What are we doing?
Between that and the great
Silver Pants, Gillette Labs,
What are we
mass
doing?
hysteria.
I don't think we
Halftime ceremonies.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Christian Arcan.
All right, couple of minutes left as we wrap things up here on Patriots Postgame, presented by Cyber Reason, the official defenders of the New England Patriots. Pats with a 22-17 ugly win on the road, a division win, knocking the Jets down a peg to 5-3 as the Pats improved to 4-4. Still in the basement of the AFC East, but certainly a better record than a lot of other teams in the AFC. So a good win for them in terms of the schedule and the standings and everything else. In terms of style points and everything like that, probably one of their not-so-great wins this season, or really any season.
Had to have it. That's the bottom line, and they got it. But, yeah, still a lot of work to do on both sides of the ball, but especially on offense.
Yeah. Anything to close out, Matt? Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just get into the bye with a winning record. If you can do that, you feel a lot better about the really ugly start to the season and some of the ugly moments like last Monday and the win today. Get into the bye with a winning record, and that's all that matters. And you have a vulnerable team that you're playing next week with a young quarterback in Sam Ehlinger who has looked horrific in the red zone look-ins we've had here. Get into the bye with a winning record and go from there. The schedule gets a lot tougher, but have that winning record at the bye.
Did I see Jonathan Taylor got hurt, or is he back?
He's back in the game, but yes, I mean they're playing the Patriots next week, so yes, I would expect him to be in the hospital by the end of the day. And he hasn't been the same kind of He hasn't been the same kind of explosive,
he's been hurt.
Unstoppable guy. He's been hurt on and off. He's dealing with an ankle injury, but the last I saw, he was back in the game.
All right. Well, the Patriots will welcome in the Indianapolis Colts on November 6th. A 1:00 game here at Gillette Stadium, and we'll have all the pre and post game for you, like we always do here at Patriots.com. I'll be in again for Hardy.
You're here again next week?
I'll be here again next week. Hopefully,
the hell's going on over here?
A little bit in better shape than I was today. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Certainly appreciate it.
Who knows? Maybe we'll even see Deuce.
Ooh, that'd be something. Get the whole gang back together. But for Deuce, for Matt, for Paul Perillo, Tamara Brown, Juwan Bentley, who joined us in the post game, and everybody else, this has been Patriots Post Game presented by
Matt
Cyber
LePan
Reason.
for subbing in.
And Matt LePan, and of course Matt Morrell, our fantastic producer, Matty the Marine, back there behind the glass. We'll talk to you next week. Patriots and Colts, 1:00 game on November 6th. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.